People will kind of worship it as a silicon sage.
Right.
Yuval Harari, his book Homo Deus, he talks about this. He's Klaus's protege. He says that we're going to have silicon sages walking around. They're going to be the new avatar. If you watch THX 1138, you know, James Caan goes in and, Robert Duvall goes in and he confesses to robot Jesus, right?
I have a hard time concentrating.
You are a true believer. Blessings of this day.
Please forgive me.
Blessings of the masses.
People are already doing this. There's robot Jesuses in churches and, you know.
Oh, they're already replacing a bunch of it with AI.
Yeah, it's straight out of THX 1138.
And that was the interesting thing when you see the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk shooting. What did they start doing? They treated it almost like a religious martyrdom. Then you started to see a lot of churches started to play AI Charlie Kirk mixed in with the apostles, AI Jesus Christ.
My name is Peter, and I was crucified for my faith in Jesus.
My brothers and sisters, root yourself in a Bible-believing church. Pray for your enemies, for our battle is spiritual. It's time to awaken your faith.
It's an attempt at making a state religion in a way. And Charlie Kirk was the first martyr of the state religion, the anti-woke state religion. And if we see here, turning point, the USA's faith network, I didn't even know they had a faith network, but that tracks, they're skyrocketing in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. Trying to get everybody on board with this new dispensationalist, perennialist, Gnostic form of Christianity. And it ties into the Mormonism. It ties into, no, we have to allow all this stuff as Christian. Why are you trying to gatekeep Christianity? You're the Antichrist for trying to gatekeep Christianity. I'm the Antichrist. This is straight out of his freaking notebook. What are you talking about? Give me a break.
Faith, which Charlie launched during COVID, has so just to put it in perspective, we had about 4,000 churches in the network before 9/10. We have added over 4,000
What's he got there?
Churches. So no.
What's he wearing there? What's that?
We've doubled it. We have 8,000 churches in our network at TPUSA Faith. We've seen
Shabbos.
1,000% growth across all social media platforms. And get
Shabbos
this, we've had
goy.
over 200,000 people sign up to become a part of TPUSA Faith. So what we're doing in the faith space has more than doubled. And it's again, what a testament to the legacy that Charlie Kirk has left. There's just so much more good than there is bad. And it's important for us to remind everybody about that.
Are you sure that's not just his hair? All right, let's do it. That's not, there's no way. I think there's multiple things going on here, right? This is my schizo brain. It's 9, almost 10, whatever. We're still sticking on schizo hours. It goes forever. We go all night with schizo hours. There's multiple things going on here, right? There's a breaking down of what the meaning of Christianity is, like with the Mormons, like we saw with the Mormons. But then at the same time, they're doing this, they're pushing him as a martyr, coupling these two things, saying we're breaking down what the meaning of it is. Nobody knows what it means anymore to be a Christian. No, you're a creedal Christian. You're something else. This is what real Christianity is. And then at the same time, the state is creating its own type of Christianity, one that's coupling with, I think, Israel, certain little dispensationalist flavor to it, because it's so ambiguous and so whatever. They're probably also going to try and pull in other religions, maybe Hinduism, maybe Far Eastern philosophy as well, to get you on board with the collectivist idea, to get you on board with, you're not a divine individual. You need to be consumed by the collective. Get on board with the collective understanding of the New World Order. That's what it seems like is happening here. And Charlie Kirk, I think, is the first steps at creating a state-run religion. He's the first martyr of that religion. I also think there's something going on too with the rise of the racism on X and the allowing of that now, where I think they're trying to get people on board with a caste system or a hierarchy here to say, okay, we want to push more maybe neo-pagan type of understanding of your religion's found in your race. Your race is superior. That's your religion. Kind of tying that into here too. There's flavors of that, I feel like, that they're allowing, because I think they want people to eventually get on board with this ultimate caste system where the transhumanists are at the top. People like the Sam Altman types, people like the Mark Andreessens, maybe Elon Musk. They will alter their bodies. They will be the silicon sages, as Jay put it. How was that for a schizo rambling? I don't think I'm totally off there, where I think they want people to be on board more with that kind of idea of monarchy, but not a Christian monarchy, or not at least a Christian monarchy that maybe real Christians would have in mind, but a state-run Christian monarchy that's perennialist, Gnostic, all these types of flavors. One with a caste system, one where the transhumanist silicon sages are at the top. And you would defer to the AI Jesus. You would get blessings of the state, blessings of the masses. I don't know. That's just what I feel. The people who gained the most from Charlie Kirk's death, where I think TPUSA gained a lot. But I also think Nick Fuentes gained a lot. And EMJ said the same thing I said.
Gen Z especially, people under 30, just do not support what Israel is doing at all. There's a new awakening.
That's exactly what Charlie Kirk found out, because that was his demographic.
Yeah.
And he's talking to those people, and they're saying basically, you don't have any credibility unless you're willing to talk about the Jewish question. He was faced with that, and that was the choice, and he chose his constituents, and I think that's what got him killed.
And speaking of Charlie Kirk, perhaps we can finish this interview coming to full circle where we began with him. In one Q&A session, somebody asked you who is the intellectual heir to Charlie Kirk, and interestingly, you said Nick Fuentes.
I said the same thing.
Why is that?
I don't think it was I think the question was more like, who's going to fill the vacuum? Because I don't think Nick is his intellectual heir. I don't think he followed him, but there's a vacuum now.
Yes.
The vacuum is known as conservatism. Conservatism died with Charlie Kirk. I think
that flavor of conservatism died with Charlie Kirk. The Charlie Kirk conservatism of liberty and individual freedom, we need to get rid of that. We got to move on from that. We need to get people in the mindset of collective identity, either racial or whatever. But we need to get people on board with that, because I think we need to gear people. They're trying to gear people towards a nationalistic, globalistic, new world government.
Attacked Charlie. What I'm saying here is, when the vacuum, the center was deliberately obliterated in a way very similar to what happened during World War II in Germany, where the center was obliterated because they wanted Hitler to come to power. Because he was the most radical leader and was most likely to lead Germany into a war. I think that's exactly the position with Nick Fuentes. He's the most radical, most extreme leader of that group. They're fighting over the same demographic. That's clear. They're fighting over that 20-year-old
Gen Z
demographic. And Charlie was doing it from a point of view of media, establishment conservatism. Nick has attacked it. But what did he do after Charlie Kirk died? He attacks Candace Owens. And he says, anybody who thinks that Israel is involved is a conspiracy nut, or something along those lines. No, I think you showed your hand there when you did that. Maybe you're afraid that you're the next guy. Someone did show up at his place, apparently was ready to kill him. So maybe he's afraid of that. But that's not, I don't think, you're not being honest there. I'm going to be perfect.
Nick doesn't give me the impression of fighting for a demographic. Are you for real? You don't think he's fighting for Gen Z, young, white men? That's literally his demographic. What are you smoking? And it's so interesting that he has this cult following, as we've watched previously with that woman propaganda video. You can go check out. It was a couple weeks ago when I posted that. People literally do follow him, and they say, I'm just going to listen to what Nick says. I'm just going to, whatever he says, I'm going to defer to. You don't think that that's a propagandist wet dream? You don't think that's the State Department's wet dream to have somebody like that they could potentially coerce? One guy, they just need one guy. They need to get him under their thumb. Guess what? You have a whole generation of young men who will listen to you. That's insane power. And the way that the Groypers and all these people operate online, they absolutely follow this dude. RKD for NJF. Right? Well, how about you RKD for the State Department? Okay, they'll do that. Nick tells me to. Okay. When he's president. And Charlie Kirk, that's another thing. Charlie Kirk was on track to be president. Absolutely. Absolutely, he was being groomed to be president. Now, not so much. But Nick still is around, and he probably will be president. Well, he'll be president in probably 10, 15, I don't know how old he is, 15 years. And that's when World War III will actually commence. That's when we'll have the Holy Crusade, right? I had the same exact idea after that happened. Who benefited the most? Well, the guy who was live streaming the next day, who had 250,000 live viewers, the most he's ever freaking had. Wow, that's a benefit. He got a benefit from there. I don't know. Listen, I'm speaking out my ass here, but this is just what I'm smelling. There's some shit in a bag somewhere, and I'm smelling it. If he was controlled, like how much of a power that would be. Who was it I was watching? I was watching somebody I think it was on that Jay Dyer stream. They was talking about the plan for America First and what they actually are doing politically, and how he said something along the lines, which I was like, how do you not know this? But like one of the plans and one of the benefits that Nick Fuentes and the Groypers have is that they have Nick has weaponized his audience on social media, the most influential form of communication. Anywhere you go on X, anytime any posts anything, Nick and his fans and the Groypers are there in the chat, in the comments. And you don't think that that's going to be used? I think that's going to be used. He's already said he's going to be doing that in 2028. If JD Vance runs, he's going to be there in full force and on the internet to rally against him. This is a way to weaponize social media. They're weaponizing social media through the Groypers. You know they're bribing him hard right now. Yeah, they are. Well, and if they don't bribe him, they'll just say, oh, we're going to kill your parents. Like, we're going to kill your sister. Like, or we're going to kill you. Or they've already killed him and he's AI. That's another option. We always have to think of the AI thing too.
I don't think you're being honest there. I think you capitulated to the pressure. Maybe you want to step into his shoes. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think, as I understood the question, who is going to benefit the most from his death? I think that would be Nick Fuentes.
Yes. I said the same thing.